Hi, my name is Mila Kunis, and I feel irrelevant about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
Irrelevant?
Yes, because you have so many friends.
No, I don't, actually.
You have so many friends.
I don't. Do you really think I do? Because
Yeah.
I don't. I have a lot of acquaintances.
Everyone claims to be your friend. Conan,
But-
the amount of times I've heard, oh, Conan's my friend.
Do they say that, my friend? He's my friend. Conan's my good friend. He's my friend. Are you down south a lot? I think you said, what was last time?
Indifferent.
Indifferent.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we've gone from indifferent to irrelevant.
Well, sometimes it takes you a while to text me back.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So I feel like there's something we can work on. We can build off of this.
We had a text thing going recently because I saw BJ Novak's movie,
Yeah.
Vengeance.
Which is fantastic.
And I texted you to just tell Ashton that I thought he killed it in that movie. He was so good.
Yeah.
And then we started going back and forth, and it was
And
just,
then you just left me.
I ghosted
You ghosted me. Yeah.
I did.
You
I
ghosted
totally
me.
ghosted you. But then I went around yelling at people, I just ghosted Mila Kunis. Isn't that cool? Like, doesn't that make me a cool person? No one thought that it was cool, by
No?
the way.
Okay. thank
I'll pay
God.
you a compliment. You are one of the nicest and most real people I've met that's in this business. You may actually have the top slot.
Really?
Yes. Seriously, since the day I met Mila years ago when you came and did the show, and then I think we chatted afterwards about where you thought you could get like the cheapest T-shirts.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
And I swear to God, there's a saying in show business that, well, that person went through the machine.
Yeah.
You've heard that saying where like people get started, and I saw it so many times on my show, and I won't name names, but I saw people come up when they were really young and they were a guest on the show and they had just hit and they were so full of life. And then the next time I saw them, like a year later,
Yeah.
they were cautious. They kind of looked different.
Yeah.
Publicists had been working on them, and it's called going through the machine, and it can sometimes be sort of a sad experience. And I swear to God, you have never changed. And even today, I'm outside when you pull up here at the podcast studio, and you've got your food, and you're like, is it okay if I eat my food? And then you start chatting about your vacation, and you're talking to everybody in the office, and that is rare.
Oh.
It is.
That's sad. But I think I got really lucky. I
Why?
really do. I never was screwed up. I did dumb things, like, don't get me wrong, but I think that I came up in a time before social media. Mm-hmm. And so when I was turning, call it like 1920, was the beginning of Perez Hilton. And I coined a lot of this going through the machine of like being cautious, and now everybody has to worry about what they say, how they say, what they look, because everything is so documented. I didn't have that.
Right.
And so I was still able to be lazy, for the lack of it. Like, I didn't have to try to be anything other than myself because it wasn't being documented anywhere. And I feel really bad for anyone who's coming up now who's like 16, 15 even, whatever, to like 25, because it's such a growing period in your life, and to have that be blasted. And now with this idea that we are holding people responsible for what they said 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
None of that. I mean, you can't do it's. Anyways, it's I got very lucky, and I have awesome parents.
I don't think I ever had a crazy period, but yeah, if I was a known person when I was 15, there would have been a lot of, Conan buying acne cream.
Yeah, but also, like, don't you think at 15,
Stealing acne cream.
Conan, you would never steal.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
I know.
But my assistant would.
That's why you have one.
Yeah. I steal.
But don't you think that that's this is a whole other podcast to unravel?
I just need to clarify I don't steal anymore.
You
I
don't
stopped
steal.
stealing. No.
Did you
you're a
ever
mother.
steal?
She's
I did. I used to have like a shoplifting thrill.
Like what?
Like little bracelets from Express or a headband from Urban Outfitters.
Just to be like, I did it.
Yeah. Just for the thrill.
Yeah, we've actually wanted to do a remote where I make her go back to all the stores that she stole from and confess and return the merchandise, which I think would be, that thing would go viral if we put that out there. But you have twin boys now.
Yeah.
who are a year old.
Yeah.
And there's always
babies.
the worry that they will grow up knowing their mother is the criminal she is. So
Well, you bring it up all the time,
Yeah,
so
it's
they're
on
going to
record.
know regardless.
she brought her kids to the studio the other day, Mikey and Charlie, in beautiful 1-year-old boys, and I just am playing with them and shouting, "Your mother stole it."
Yeah. So awful.
I oddly believe it.
It's true.
It did happen. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm a terrible person.
Very on brand, Conan.
I do think even if you had grown up in this age, you'd have figured it out, because you just have that quality of you're always yourself.
Yeah.
That's a gift. And I think in this town, that's such an asset to just know who you are. You know who you are.
Yeah.
And you know what's important to you.
Yeah.
So yes, you did a lot of crazy things when you were 15.
I mean, crazy. I was still, in comparison to other children, I was a very good kid. Like, I worked, so I had responsibilities, so you can only be so crazy or I wouldn't have a job. And I loved what I did.
It says here you flew cocaine into Miami.
That was different. That was just me
That was
finding myself.
I know it's a job. You
That
got
was-
paid
yeah, that was
hundreds
different.
of thousands of dollars.
That was experimental. Can you imagine if I ever did? What would I've never done hardcore drugs. It's just
No, me neither.
everybody
Yeah.
thought I did when I was a teenager. They really every time I went out to a club, and I used to go to like clubs. I didn't drink. I mean, I would have like. If someone snuck me like a vodka soda, I'd have a couple sips. But I was responsible because I knew I had to drive home. But everybody would go to the bathroom and they'd be like, "You got some?" And I was like, "Oh, do you need like a tampon?" Like, what do you mean? Like I was, and they were like, blah blah blah. I was like, I'm so sorry. I kept apologizing. I'm so sorry. I don't do that.
Yeah.
My whole life, and no one. Yeah.
I think I've mentioned this before, but in college, I didn't do anything. And I walked into a room once, and it was a scene out of like Pretty in Pink where the bad guys are all wearing white tuxedo jackets. But I walked into a room and it's like 3 guys in white tuxedo jackets with their ties undone, and they were cutting up lines, and they were like, "Hey man, you want some Coke?" And I said, "My father's a doctor. He says it interrupts the heart rhythm."
Oh my God.
And they were like, they looked at me and I went, "Interferes with the neural signals."
You know what a nerd I am, and I want to pound you.
I know. Trust me. I gave him a lecture on interrupting the heart rhythm.